Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Shalom to the elders, Wa'ak and Wa'ak, and I say Shalom. And this is a quick little sit down lesson that I'm going to bring out of Joel 3 and verse 9 to verse 10. And this is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. And it reads through the Holy Scriptures. Proclaim ye this amongst the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Right, and that's what we're seeing over there in Western Asia, especially what's taking place over there in the Red Sea. And I believe it was another story that just recently came out about over there in the Gulf of Aden. I believe a U.S. ship was targeted by the Houthi rebels by guided missiles, if I'm not mistaken, because it was a news report that just came out like a couple of minutes ago, and I was checking my news feed. In the story that I just did a sit-down lesson on, saying that the Houthi rebels, a spokesperson, made an announcement once again, which he did previously. And he was saying that I believe he's the top Houthi leader of the Iranian-backed rebel. I believe he's the Houthi leader of the Houthi rebel, which is an Iranian-backed group, which is originally from Yemen. They're going to continue to target Israeli ships, vessels, ships, importing and exporting ships that's affiliated with the IDF, which is or Israelis or the United States or its coalition forces that the Houthi rebels been attacking, that's been going against on both sides. Those tensions definitely been escalating over there in the Red Sea. So that Joel the 3rd chapter, verse 9 to verse 10 is heating up over there in that region over there in the Red Sea. And this is the book of Joel 3 and verse 9, amending the tensions that's heating up over there in Western Asia, especially the borders of Iraq, Syria, Israel, Lebanon, the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, Palestinian territory, throughout that whole region, throughout the whole Western Asia region, and the Red Sea. Tensions are escalating over there in the area now. Joel 3 and verse 9, it says, proclaim ye this amongst the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty man, let all the men of war draw near, and let them come up. Joel 3 and verse 10, beat your plowshares and swords and the pruning hooks and the spears and let the weak say I'm strong. And I believe somebody that was affiliated with Pakistan, and they were saying that there's going to be some serious consequences because the representations of the armies of Iran using airstrikes over there. I believe over there in Iraq and Syria and Pakistan, because you had spies over there in that area that hit those areas with those leaders and proxy leaders, some type of spies that the Iranian officials, military have used airstrikes over there. I'll say the day before yesterday, because I remember I did a sit-down lesson on it. In those recent airstrikes that Iran had did over there in Iraq and Syria and Pakistan, and the representation from the Pakistan, their side, saying there's going to be some serious consequences for that, So that Joel the 3rd chapter is definitely heating up, right along for the Ezekiel the 38th chapter as well too. Especially when we see the Russia-Ukraine situation is heating up. I believe I did a sit-down lesson earlier today about Russia over there in the western part of Ukraine, if I'm not mistaken, because you had French foreign fighters. They've been helping the Ukraine soldiers over there for quite a while, ever since the Ukraine war had started. And I believe they killed like 90 of those mercenary foreign soldiers, which was of French descent. And they was backing the Ukraine soldiers, and Russia used another airstrikes over there in the western part of Ukraine. So as the tensions been heating up over there in that area, throughout that whole region, over there in Ukraine. So the Russia-Ukraine situation, that's only going to continue to heat up, as that Ezekiel the 38th chapter is playing out as well too. And what's taking place with the, I believe it was a latest military exercise drills that took place of South Korea, Japan, and the United States, of the ongoing mending tensions that they have with North Korea. And North Korea and South Korea, those tensions been heating up over there in the as well too over there in the Korean Peninsula. Expect to see that increasing as well too. So Joel the third chapter, Joel chapter 3 verse 9 through verse 10 is definitely playing out. So I just wanted to mention that of the latest articles, of the latest biblical signs that we've been seeing in our world today. That leads up into the Holy Scriptures as I'm bringing out the Joel chapter 3 verse 9 through verse 10. So it makes a lot of sense because this is increasing biblical signs that we're seeing and we're prophesying about as us being the children of Israel. Because like it says in Ezekiel 3 and verse 17, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel, which is the Israelites. Because the prophets of old, they was watchmen, and they was prophesying against great countries and great kingdoms of war, evil, and pestilence. And that's what we're doing, being on our watching these modern day times, prophesying against great countries and great kingdoms of war, evil, and pestilence. So these wars is only going to continue to increase. The wars and rumors of wars, nation against nations, kingdom against kingdom. So these wars, especially in the wars category, so these escalations and tensions are only going to heat up between these different nations and different kingdoms that's battling out, going against one another. And that's what we're seeing in our world today. So the wars, evils, and the pestilence, just like it says in Jeremiah 28, it's only going to increase. Just like it did in ancient times, we're going to see this spark up and manifest more and more in these modern day times. This is Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this amongst the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty man, let all the men of war draw near, and let them come up. That's why we're seeing military exercise drills is up at an all-time high, just like we're seeing that at a record-breaking setting in the year 2023. Expect to see that more in 2024. Military exercise drills, military spending, military escalations, wars and tensions, proxy wars, on and off, back and forth escalations and teachings. It's only going to expand, it's only going to increase, it's only going to manifest now so more than ever at an alarming rate. So it's only going to continue to increase, and this is what we're prophesying about the wars, evils, and the pestilence as a prime example. So I just want to add an additional note to that. This is Joel 3 and verse 10. It says, beat your plowshares and the swords and the pointed hooks and the spears, and let the weak say I'm strong. Right, and that's what we are seeing of North Korea building up their nuclear capability, and other nations that got the connections, got the military financing, the money financing, and they got the better experience and upgradable experience to building up their nuclear capability of their arsenal that they already have now. So a couple of years ago, in recent times, you wouldn't expect, in the past, you wouldn't expect these nations would have the connections and the financial stability and the experience of the building up stability to be able to have their nuclear capabilities and military capabilities, to their arsenal. You wouldn't expect it for these nations. Now we're starting to see it in these modern day times. Hey, beat your plowshares and swords and pointy hooks and spears, and let them say I'm strong. And that's what we're seeing from these nations against their adversaries. That's why, like I mentioned again, that's why military exercise drills up at an all-time high. Military spending's been up at an all-time high ever since World War II. And proxy wars, seditions, uprisings, uproars between the different nations or armies and kingdoms are increasing, especially over there in Western Asia, with the latest attacks been taking place over there in the Red Sea as well too, and the latest attacks over there in Iraq and Syria, and throughout that whole region over there in Western Asia. So all these are increasing. That's why I brought out Joel chapter 3, verse 9 through verse 10. I'm going to bring it out again for edification's sake, and I'm going to close out the sit-down lesson. And this is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this amongst the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty man, let all the men of war draw near, and let them come up. Joel 3, verse 10. Beat your plowshares and the swords and the pointy hooks and the spears, and let the weak say I'm strong. And I'm going to bring out a couple of news articles as well too, for more clarification of that. And this was the latest article that I had mentioned. It says, this was the latest news articles, what's taking place over there in Western Asia. It says by Reuters as of January 17, 2024. It says Yemen's Houthis target U.S. ship in Gulf of Aden with missile statement. It says Yemen's Houthis movement target on Wednesday the U.S. Genco Darky bulk carrier with missiles, which resulted in a direct hit. It says the group's military spokesperson Yahya Sharia said in a statement, if I pronounce his name right, so Salakia for that. It says the Navy forces will not hesitate to target all sources of threat in the Red Sea and the Arabian Sea, which I did a sit-down lesson on earlier today, similar to that, within the legitimate right to defend Yemen and continue to support and oppress the Palestinian people. Syria added, was a spokesperson on that particular matter at hand. I believe it was another similar to that. Yeah, this is the one I did a sit-down lesson earlier, and it says Yemen's. This was from Reuters, from the Jerusalem Post once again, January 17, 2024, and it reads: Yemen Houthis said attacks on Red Ship heading to Israel to continue despite U.S. move. The U.S. destination of Yemen Houthis are a bad group. Will not affect their operations to prevent Israeli ships or ships heading to Israel from crossing the Red Sea, the Arabian Sea, and the Bab al-Mandab Strait. Houthi spokesperson Mohammed Abdul Salim told Reuters on Wednesday. The Biden administration on Wednesday returning Iran-aligned Houthi military to a list of groups. The U.S. official says the latest attempts by Washington to stem attacks by the Houthi forces on international shipping in a protest over Israel bombardment of Gaza. So yeah, that's what we're seeing. And this was from the latest from the over there in Israel's North Part, over there in Western Asia. It says the IDF takes out Hezbollah groups who fired barrage at Israel's north, which we've been seeing that been continuing increasing ever since that incident happened on October 7th. So escalation's been heating up between both sides, between the Israel Defense Force and Hamas as well too. Especially, I would say, the southern part of Lebanon, the central part of Lebanon, the northern part of Israel, the central part of Israel, and the southern part of Israel are the ongoing cross-border conflict between the IDF, which is the Israel Defense Force, and the Hezbollah over there in Lebanon, in the Gaza Strip, and the West Bank as well too. It says the IDF takes out Hezbollah group who fired barrage at Israel's north. The IDF killed the Hezbollah groups responsible for rocket fire towards Rosh Haniyakar, if I pronounced that right, on Wednesday, which is today. Because the time zones are kind of different over there in Western Asia in comparisons to the United States. It says on Wednesday, Israeli military said earlier on Wednesday, several launches were detected from Lebanon to northern Syria. One of the Hezbollah launch teams that fired rockets at Rosh Haniyakar was identified immediately after the launch by an IDF aircraft that followed the tactic. It says later, Air Force fighter jets, attacker, and a number of active launchers and organization infrastructures in southern Lebanon. This is in addition to IDF artillery strikes on other areas in southern Lebanon. So Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this amongst the Gentiles, prepare war. Look up the mighty man, let all the men of war draw near and let them come up. Joel 3:10. Beat your plowshares and the swords and the pruning hooks and the spears, and let the weak say I'm strong. So with that, hopefully this sit-down lesson was edifying of Joel 3 and verse 9 and verse 10, especially with the latest news that backs up that scripture of Joel 3 and verse 9 and verse 10, especially the rising tensions and escalations between the different nations or armies that we're seeing that's taking place over there in Western Asia and around the world as well too. Definitely particularly the latest attacks that's been taking place over there in Western Asia and throughout the Red Sea as well too, because the nations are increasingly rising up against one another, so it's intensifying over there in the area. So with that, hopefully this sit-down lesson was edifying of Joel 3 verse 9 to verse 10. And with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Shalom to the elders, Wa'ak and Wa'akwa, and until next time, I will say Shalom.